was like, oh my god, do you remember me? And then he's like, yeah, I know who you are. And just like threw a stack, and I was like, oh no! Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lydia, and today we're going to be talking about jobs I had before I was in the adult industry. And I'm super excited to do this video. It's been on my list of videos that I want to do for so long, because everyone asks me all the time, if you weren't a sex worker, what would you be doing? You ugly hoe, you can never get a real job, and you know, all of these really fun things. I think we're gonna talk about jobs that I had before sex work, because I did in fact choose this job. So I've been finding ways to make money since I was like 12 years old. I would make these little bracelets and sell them for $1, and you know, I was already hustling. And then when I was 14, I sold clothes on this website called Vinted. I would just like find clothes at thrift stores or sell my own clothes. And that kind of phased out because when I was 16, I got a job at Taco Bell. I did not want to work at Taco Bell. I was a little princess. Like, I wasn't rich growing up, but my mentality was like, I'm not gonna work a fast food job. I'm gonna work at Chili's or PacSun or something like that. I did not want to work fast food, but I couldn't find anywhere to hire me. So I started working at Taco Bell when I was 16, and my first day of work I literally cried. Like, it was such a f***ing shock. And I know it sounds so dumb. I will always have respect for fast food workers because everyone's like, how f***ing hard is it to flip a burger? No, there is 20 things going on, and it's things that you don't even know about. Like, someone could be having to work the cash register, but then their manager's like, oh, I need you to sweep the floors, and I need you to go out and take the boxes out, and just so many things that you don't see when you're just grabbing your food and being a bitch to the fast food worker. That period of my life was such a mess. I worked there from 16 to 18. I had that job, but I also had other jobs during that one, if that makes sense. I have a lot of stories from Taco Bell. Like, homeless people would always flood the bathrooms. I would find like underwear in the bathroom. One time a baby was born in the parking lot of the Taco Bell. There's just a lot. I really liked working the closing shift because I just made whatever food I wanted, go to the food line and like make whatever I wanted and just eat. And that was really cool. There was like an old manager that was like amazing. Like, I loved him. I worked hard like when he was working. I respected the hell out of him. Like, he was awesome. He gave me an opportunity for my first job. Like, he gave me advice. Like, he literally, I know this sounds stupid because it's just Taco Bell, but I went from this little like prissy bitch to like someone that actually knew how to work because of him. Well, he moved away and we got this new manager, and I'll get to this, but I was also waitressing at a strip club, and I guess someone told him that I was waitressing at a strip club. He took me off the schedule, and he said it's because I don't show up for my shift. Maybe called out like one time since he had been working there. I know for a fact I wasn't missing my shifts. He took me off the schedule for 2 weeks, so I kind of took that as me being fired. I was like, whatever, I guess I'm done here. Someone sends me the schedule and it says that I'm scheduled to work like a full like 5 days a week. So how do you like with my hours like that and then give me a full schedule? So I called him and I was like, I can't work these hours. Basically, long story short, he said something like, oh yeah, like because of your other job, in a really condescending tone. And I was like, we are not gonna disrespect me because I'm waitressing at a strip club. Like, at the time I was 18, no. And so I just told him I quit. I was like, well, I quit. Like, no. The way that he said it was just so f***ed. He was like, oh, because of your other job, what is it, deja vu? And I was just like, who the fuck? It's one thing if like a coworker was talking shit or making me feel bad about working there, but my RGM was making me feel like shit about working at a strip club. Like, first of all, it's none of his business because I knew shit about him that I didn't tell anyone. Like, but whatever. So long story short, I quit that job. My coworkers were awesome. My second job was working at a cafe, and I hated that job. I hated that job so much. There's not really much to say about that job other than it was a bunch of grown women that to stir up drama, and I wasn't with it because the whole time that I worked there I kind of just sat back and listened to the drama. But after me having to run around for my 5-6 hour shifts and leave with $13 in tips because I was just a hostess even though I worked my ass off, I was like, I'm not, like, sorry, my shift and my manager walked up to me. She was like, so are you quitting or not? All rude. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go. And I just left. Like, I think she expected me to be like, no, please don't fire me, but that shit. My third job was working at Deja Vu. When I turned 18, I was a waitress, and that job was super fun. I did promo like every single week. Promo was basically where we would go like in this van and drive around and hand out passes to get into the club. When I first started working there, I was friends with a few girls that worked there, and it was just a really good time. I wasn't in the sex industry at all, and so I just thought I was like the coolest bitch ever. And now I look back and like it was a fun job, but working in an environment where the girls are like 18 to 28, so much drama. Everyone just like hated on each other, and I really like tried to stay out of it, but people just kept wanting to bring me into their bullshit, and I do not know why. I was cool with a lot of them. Like, I'm not talking shit about all the girls that worked there. At the time, I would make a decent amount in tips, but if you're gonna work at a strip club, just be a dancer, because the drama and the atmosphere and the dealing with men is not worth it if you could possibly be leaving with like $10 in tips. So, life hack, just waitress until you want to be a stripper, but it's not like a job that you want to keep. I quit that job because I ended up moving to Texas, and I did end up working at another Deja Vu club, and we'll get to that. Another job I had, and this was right when I quit Taco Bell, but I was still working at Deja Vu, so I had both jobs at the same time basically. This job was definitely my favorite job I ever had. It taught me so many things about being compassionate and caring about people and working hard and professionalism and all of these qualities they didn't have before. I was a PCA, which is basically a CNA, nursing assistant, but I didn't have that title at the time. I didn't have my nursing assistant license back then. Basically, my shift would be me in charge of like 10 to 12 residents who were in memory care. So they had different stages of Alzheimer's, dementia, and I took care of them. I fed them, I changed their diapers, I talked to them, I showered them, I spent time with them. Sometimes I feel like that was my calling in life, but then again, I feel like working as a CNA, I couldn't do it. It was very physically draining. It was mentally fulfilling. They underpaid the hell out of me. I was making minimum wage for working 8-hour shifts, taking care of people completely. I had to do at least 3 showers a day. I had to change everyone's diapers. I had to make sure that everyone was fed, everyone was changed for bed. Like, for $10 an hour, the same amount that someone gets probably to just like stand somewhere and do nothing. I formed really strong connections with my residents, and I miss them so much. I literally think about them all the time. Like, sometimes I dream about them. They meant so much to me. I treated them like family, and it really sucks that I had to quit, because on my last day, it was really sad. There was a couple residents that like, I would tell them I was leaving, and even though they have dementia, there was this one that was like, you can't go, like, you're the only one that talks to me like a friend. And it like broke my heart. Like, I still think about that. And there was residents that would like call me their granddaughter because they thought I was their granddaughter because I treated them so well. And I just miss them a lot. I think that in the future I really want to do volunteer work with people who have Alzheimer's. It really means a lot to me making sure that people that have Alzheimer's or dementia get the life that they deserve towards the end, because a lot of people, they just throw their family members into these homes and they just pretend like they're not there anymore. And the reality is that they're still functioning human beings no matter what state they're in, and they deserve respect and they deserve love and all of these things. Wow, Louie, I'm trying to have a deep talk. I ended up quitting that job because I was moving to Texas, and honestly, I feel like it might have been a blessing that I moved, because I don't know if I would have ever quit. I was so attached to these residents, and even though I was underpaid, every day I showed up to work and I loved it because of the residents. There were so many residents that literally told me like I was their favorite, like I treated them the best. And I was 18 years old. Like, everyone else, the second youngest to me was probably like 30. Then when I moved to Texas, I started hostessing at Longhorn Steakhouse, and Longhorn Steakhouse is so bomb. I would get a meal every day from there because I got them half off, and I got 2 free sides a day. I loved working there. I definitely was overworked sometimes and like super stressed out because I was also like a busboy basically, and so I would have to seat people and clean off the tables, and if I was the only one on the shift, I had to do all of that by myself. And in Texas, minimum wage is like $7.25, and then I did get tips, but I didn't get paid that much. It wasn't really worth it. I stopped working there because I wasn't getting paid a lot and Buffalo Wild Wings was hiring, and I was kind of like in an awkward like work flirt relationship hookup thing with one of my coworkers at the steakhouse, and I was kind of like, this is my cue to go. So I got a job at Buffalo Wild Wings, and Buffalo Wild Wings was pretty cool. There was a lot of people my age working there. It was so busy, especially on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because they had those stupid ass like half-price wing days, and that was the death of me. At the time, I had started like dabbling into online sex work, and so no one really knew anything about me. At the time I was dancing, and I think this one girl I was friends with told people there that I did, but other than that, no one really knew anything. I had hooked up with this dude that I met on Tinder, and I didn't know that he was like recently out of a relationship, or else I would not have fucked with him. Hooked up a couple of times, like he slept at my house, whatever, and he had to go to a wedding, and he kind of wasn't really talking to me. He said we would hang out after the wedding, whatever. And I noticed that he posted a picture with this girl at the wedding, and I clicked on her page and it was his ex-girlfriend. So I was like, abort mission, I'm not doing this. I just like stopped talking to him. I never talked to him again. I think he hit me up one time when he saw I was living in LA, because he's in a band and he goes to LA or something, I don't know. But his ex-girlfriend worked with me at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I'm almost positive the girl that I was friends with told her about it. I don't know. But that was kind of awkward for me, because like I felt like I wanted to apologize to her, but then I was like, she doesn't know who the fuck I am, so let's just not. I literally got in a car crash like a couple weeks after I started working there, and they were so cool about it. This is what triggered me to quit Buffalo Wild Wings. Is one time while I was working, there was this super cute dude at Buffalo Wild Wings, and he came in and got to go order, and I remembered him because I complimented his tattoos. And he didn't know I was a dancer. Like, I just thought his tattoos were cool. Well, I'm on stage at this strip club, and I look down and this dude's tipping me. It's not a very tall stage, so his face is kind of by mine. I was like, oh my god, do you remember me? And then he's like, yeah, I know who you are. And just like threw a stack, and I was like, oh no! And then after I got on stage, I walked up to him and I was like, hi, did you expect to see me here? And he was like, no, you looked like a good girl, like trying to flirt, whatever. He's like, I recognize those eyes anywhere. He was pretty cute, so I let it slide, but like, that definitely was like, okay, I cannot be getting recognized from Buffalo Wild Wings at the strip club. I'm a dip, so I quit Buffalo Wild Wings. I was also planning on moving back to California, so it was kind of a good idea. I really liked that club. The security didn't let dudes grab on you, didn't let them touch you. The club was like, you can just walk away if a dude touches you. Like, just make sure you get your money first. My best friend worked with me. I made amazing money, especially because the club was so small. It was pretty surprising. I feel like I kind of covered stripping in my what's in my stripper bag video, so I don't really want to go into like full-on detail about it, but I loved that. I didn't strip consistently. I would strip like every couple months for like a couple weeks straight. Now I did skip these because these were just kind of like little filler jobs, but while I was working at Longhorn Steakhouse, I nannied for 2 families. I took care of a 8-month-old baby, and his name was Ethan. He was the cutest baby ever. I miss him so freaking much. He was so cute. I loved taking care of him. He was such a happy baby. And then I took care of this 4-year-old, and this was 2 separate families, so I would like go back and forth depending on the day. And the 4-year-old made me never want children ever. Like, I feel so bad. I'm gonna get like hate because I'm talking shit about a 4-year-old. I've never had a 4-year-old act like this to me before. But the thing is, I would tell her no, like, oh no, you can't have a cookie for dinner. And then her family would come home, and then they would be like, she'd be screaming like, I want a cookie! And I would just be like, oh my god. And her family would just be like, here, just give her a cookie. And it's like, do you want me to keep your kid in line, or do you want me to just like feed her cookies all day so she shuts up? I don't know. She'd scream and she would hit me, and it was just a mess. I quit that job because I just couldn't handle it anymore. And then I worked for an app called Waiter, which is basically like Uber Eats, but it's in the South. I would work all day and I would just kind of like fill in my time slots with Waiter. And that was pretty fun. I liked delivering food. I didn't really get tipped well. People don't really understand the importance of tipping like delivery drivers. They're using their own gas. They're paying for all of their insurance, their car payment. They're paying for repairs on the car. Like, the company, no one's giving them gas money. So it's so important. Like, tip your Postmates, tip your Uber, tip your waiter, like, tip people if they're driving their own vehicle. I was like this small girl just like going to people's houses, like going up to their doors and like bringing them food. Like, that's sketchy. And there was some sketchy ass deliveries that I did. So I don't know how I'm here in one piece, but that job was pretty fun. I liked it. Me from the future. I'm sitting here naked after the gym editing, and I realized that I forgot my last job, the reason why I decided to go into the sex industry full time. And that was working at a Deja Vu club as a waitress in Los Angeles. And it was a nice job. I don't have really anything negative to say about it. Part of my job was doing promo on Hollywood Boulevard, so I would like walk around Hollywood Boulevard passing out flyers, and I saw some crazy shit. I'm pretty sure every SoundCloud rapper in America gave me their number while I was doing promo. One time I was wearing these huge stripper heels and I fell and a bunch of people saw, and that was embarrassing. Other than that, the girls that worked there were cool. I was pretty new. I only worked there for like a few months, maybe not even. And so I didn't really form like friendships with any of the girls, but they were all nice to me. No one was I ended up quitting because I was going through a really hard time. Something had happened, and I didn't really get good sales for about maybe 2 or 3 shifts. But I needed a weekend off because I was going to Day and Night 2017, and they wouldn't give it to me. The main manager was like, well, once you get your sales up, then we'll give it to you. And I was pissed because I had gone into work right after I found out something super shitty happened, and I felt like, dude, I showed up. Even if I didn't make a shit ton of sales, like, I could have called out and screwed you over more. And so I was mad and I just quit. And I think that he realized he was being harsh on me because I quit. I don't think he expected me to. I think he expected me to just stay. And so another manager was like, hey, like, you don't have to quit. We'll work on the schedule with you. Like, we're sorry. Even that manager apologized to me, which I really respected because I actually was, like, pissed about it. He apologized, and I was just done. And I was a dumbass because I quit that job with $50 in my bank account. But that same week, I get a message from ManyVids telling me, hey, try out our platform, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it worked out for the best. So yeah, that was the last job, and I think that will be the last time that I am employed by someone other than myself. I don't plan on ever going back to being employed by anyone because, I mean, there's a common theme here that places don't treat you the best. Bye-bye, back to me looking cute. I'm only 20 and I've had all of these jobs, so just to let the haters know, I can have different jobs. I am choosing what I'm doing right now. I could walk into anywhere that I want to work right now and get hired. I know how to interview, I know how to talk to people. This video is going to be so long to edit. If you are still watching, comment the word cupcake below so that I know that you watched the whole thing. And I'll love you forever. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys again in my next video. If you want to comment any suggestions that you have for me, feel free. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me and do all of that good shit. I will see you next time. Mwah.